Welcome, friends. Day 6. Yay! You've clicked, you're here, you're ready. Well done. Again, every day that you tune into this and even beyond the 7 days, this really could be a 7-week challenge that you did one practice for the whole week. There's a lot packed into each one. And obviously they're at different levels. So you choose your level. Today we're going to look at the deep core stabilizers of the back, which are muscles called the multifidus. And they are an incredible group of muscles, very tiny. So here's a model of the spine. And in between each vertebrae are little tiny muscles that span from joint to joint. So they're like your, little rungs of the ladder, or they're your very deep intersegmental muscles, they're called. So those muscles are incredibly important for the core. And how to activate them is more at a lower level contraction, so you're not giving your full contraction that would otherwise recruit the global bigger muscles. It's kind of like a lower level contraction, focusing on the transversus, those muscles that were at the lower abdomen of the day 1, because contracting multifidus is done through the transversus. Anything you'd like to share, please comment below. And thank you in advance. There's a Pay It Forward link if you've benefited in some way from these practices and feel that you are able to pay it forward. I really do appreciate it. Right, let's get started. Meeting on the mat on all fours and beginning by activating the lower abdominals as you round the spine, exhaling, rounding, inhaling, just coming to neutral. So we're not really arching too much in this cat-cow. We are more drawing the navel to the spine as you round and just coming to neutral. So you're really focusing on drawing the lower abdominals in and up. Also the pelvic floor. So as you inhale, you release the pelvic floor, and as you exhale, you draw the pelvic floor up. And you can practice advancing this, hovering the knees off the floor. Same thing, core draws in, pelvic floor lifts, and lifting the knees off, and relax as you bring the knees down. So now holding this hovering position of the knees off the floor. And now moving in a fluid way, mobilizing your spine, finding those little nooks and crannies of your spine and rib cage that feel really nice to move into. Side flexion, lateral flexion here, engaging the side waist muscles, looking around to your tail. Just simply have fun with this. Mobilize your spine that feels right for you. And rest back in Balasana, Child's Pose. Taking a few deep breaths before we now start more vigorous practices, moving through a spinal wave from a back bend, crawl back into Child's Pose. So you might crawl on your forearms, or you might crawl on your hands. And please find the range of motion that's right for you. So you can progress this through plank pose to rise, through Bhujangasana or cobra pose, and push back through downward facing dog. The spinal wave. So really see if you can, as you come forward through, that you can round the spine and then move into your back bend and again back and forth. Mobilizing the spine at the same time as you're building up strength through your core And a note here of Bhujangasana or cobra pose, to lengthen, not compress. So often we can think of rising up higher and it actually compresses our spine rather than lengthening. And a good rule of thumb really is, can you hold your back bend in that range of motion? So you're utilizing the spinal muscles, the multifidus, to hold you into extension rather than just forcing yourself into maybe an unsustainable range of motion. So here we're squeezing the shoulder blades down and back as you lift, activating the back body here. But again, maybe it's just a little bit lower. If you rise up too high, the strong global erector spinae muscles will engage and you could potentially miss the multifidus. Scale the range back and go more for stability. So here, from a down dog position, we're bending the knees and then moving forward through to plank. So alternating back and forward, building up again the heat. Draw navel to spine. Hover, knees over the floor. Holding, holding. Well done. And now have a bit of fun with the bear crawl. Engaging through the belly. And vary now the direction of your crawl. Have some fun here. Crawl around your space. These animal flow movements are wonderful. Functional retraining. Keeping playful with your movements here. And come back to hover, knees off the floor, holding, holding, and release. Well done. So from here, going back to the low level core activation, drawing navel to spine as you round the spine, and include the pelvic floor as you lift pelvic floor, and then release pelvic floor as you exhale. And then rest in Balasana, child's pose. Find your breath. Taking a side stretch here, both arms to one side. Breathing into the lateral rib. Change sides. And then melting heart pose, Anahata Asana. Wonderful pose to decompress the spine. Stretch to the chest. Breathing here. Well done. Well done. Day 6. Whew, that was hot for me in here. Raise the heat, raise your awareness, and please, again, always integrate what we do on the mat into your everyday experience of your movement. When you're lifting, when you're twisting, when you're sitting, the more you can bring awareness to your core region, the longer your spine will be, the more controlled it will be, and the less likelihood of pain and inflammation. So, thank you again. Be sure to subscribe. That helps this channel grow. And again, if you're called to, please use the Pay It Forward link below. Thank you. See you tomorrow, final day 7.